Women are powerful creators. The Align Women podcast features female entrepreneurs, leaders, and other professional women who've demonstrated agency and innovation in their personal and professional lives. I'm your host, Amy Evans. I have authentic, intimate conversations with my guests that highlight their paths to success, their struggles and accomplishments, and the things that currently excite, motivate, and inspire them to turn their visions into reality. Welcome to episode 4 of the Align Women podcast. I'm Amy Evans. I'm your host, and I'm the founder of Align Women, which is a leadership and networking organization for professional women. The podcast features female entrepreneurs and leaders and other professional women who've demonstrated agency and innovation in their personal and professional lives. And with me today is JuliAnn Stitick. She's a personal brand expert, she's a motivational speaker, and she's the CEO of Your Success Style. JuliAnn's been an integral part of the development of my personal brand. We met a few years ago when she spoke at a Women in Insurance and Financial Services event, and I immediately connected with her uplifting energy and her unique perspective on personal branding. Welcome, JuliAnn.
I am so excited to be here and talk with you, Amy, just to spend time with you.
I love it. I'm so excited to be talking with you too, and I'm really excited about the questions that I have for you. So let's get into them. Tell me why a personal brand is important, and how do you help people identify their personal brand and then step into it and live it?
Okay, so you got to ask me one at a time.
Why is personal brand important?
Awesome. Okay, so I think that I love that question, and one of the things I think is the most important to distinguish is what is a personal brand. It's like a lot of people don't even really understand what a personal brand is. Your personal brand is basically the entity of you as it is reflected in your marketing, your image, the way you speak, the way you walk into a room, the way you communicate your leadership and influence online. So it's really about the internal work that happens to develop that individual as a whole, as a strength individual who has then got a clear roadmap to setting the foundation for every aspect of their life. So a lot of people tie personal brand strictly to business, but it really is who you are at your essence.
And how do you help people identify their personal brand and step into it and live it when you work with them?
I love that. So it always begins with purpose. It always begins to coming down to what is it that you are uniquely here on this planet to deliver, and how are you specifically here, like this one individual, what are you supposed to be doing? And then when we identify that, then we look at all of the surrounding environments of that, and we make sure that all of those environments are in alignment and super clean and structured so that you're actually achieving the things that you want to achieve. So we tap into values, we tap into skill set, what do you love doing, all of the pieces of who they are. So if somebody is super adventurous, that needs to be relevant in aspects of their brand, because that way people connect with them.
So powerful. You used obviously one of my favorite words, which is alignment. And that's been my experience when I have felt aligned with the projects I'm working on, whether they're personal or professional, and I feel like they are a reflection of my values. Values is another big word for me. Everything clicks in a way that I hadn't experienced before. So I know the benefit of doing that work in order to get those things in alignment.
I love it. And you just gave me a visual. So think of you're driving a stick shift car. And when you are trying to find the gear, but it's not quite there, it's not screeching, but it's sort of just not like, then it sets in, then you're in forward motion. Yep. And when we develop our brand with our purpose or our big picture vision or our greater good mission as the hallmark of that brand, what ends up happening is you don't just attract customers, but you attract people that actually are in alignment with that passion and that vision. So it's like a double whammy with the marketing, because the first piece is really about recognizing, you know what, I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
It's totally okay. Where the word that comes up for me with what you're describing, and it's one that I've experienced in enormous amounts this year, is amplification. When all of those things are aligned, there's an amplification of everything that you're doing. And you're so right. It isn't siloed anymore.
Right.
It's not just about work. It's not just about family. It's not just about relationships. It becomes about everything, and everything becomes amplified. And it's an amazing experience to go through.
Love it. And that really the amplification begins with amplifying you.
Yes.
And that's the key component. So how does that get reflected outward through branding? In the way that the individual begins to live their life and make decisions about their business and their overall life. Everything, the cake batter changes, the finished product changes.
I love it. So that's a great lead into your book, which the current one is Step Into Your Power. That is not the first book because you have been
right. So you're going to laugh at me. I'm like, this is my first book.
I love it.
I've read that. 5 Keys to Profitable Personal Brand. This is my third book, Purpose Crisis. Stop the inner struggle, find your life's meaning, reveal the magnificent you who's ready to be seen. And then we wrote Purpose Crisis. The publisher that I worked with said, when we got to this piece about step into your power, she said, this is its own book. So this book really is about how do you show up in life feeling your best mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and really putting your best foot forward every time that you interact with anyone. But specifically, this is about going to conferences and events around work. And so how do you prepare? How do you be while you're there? And then how do you follow up in a way that's really going to maximize the investment that was made at being the conference? So everything from self-care to wardrobe to packing lists to how to do your research on the people that you want to meet while you're there, how to set the intention for the event, how to articulate your business, which is a really big issue. Very interestingly enough, that a lot of people don't know how to clearly articulate who they are and what they offer and how it benefits their customer in a concise manner that then has that person ask, I want to know more. So those pieces help you step out and be the most competent you can be so you can really maximize the results of being at those events. And so it's great for business, great ROI, but it's a really great way to show up in your day-to-day life too.
So tell me how that process and that system and those checklists have helped you as an introvert to be comfortable.
I knew you were going to ask that question.
I love the introvert question.
Right. So I am such an introvert. And so it's interesting because when people see me in a setting, you would not think I am, because I'm very warm and I'm actually being very sincere when I'm doing that. I'm just pouring so much love out when I'm out. But with that requires a lot of me time and quiet time. And so because being in big groups of people with lots of commotion and different food and all of the things that adjust in our lives when we go to events, I decided that I needed some things to help me be streamlined the best that I can be for the event. So it's, people would say, well, you always show up looking so good to these events, what do you do? Spend a day at the spa the day before? I'm like, yep, I sure do. And I might not do it at the spa, but I might do a spa day at home. Right. And so it's that type of thing. It's like, how do you research somebody that you really want to meet so that you really ask the right questions when you meet that person? That's what gives you. So all of these things are all things that increase your confidence, right? And
Yeah.
when we're confident and bold, we can do anything.
Yep. Perfect. I am getting my hands on that book before a couple speaking engagements I have at the beginning of next year.
Oh, like it's such an easy, fun read. Like it's fun. It's really more like reading a fun magazine.
Well, I loved Purpose Crisis, and that's an easy read. I don't necessarily think it's always fun because it asks some hard questions, but I took myself on a personal retreat, sort of along the lines of what you're talking about, when I need to do planning and really dig down into what I want and what direction I want to go and the pieces that I need in place to do that. I'll go away for a couple days by myself, and I'll take face masks and all the nice self-care things, and I will put myself in a cocoon and do that planning. And the last time I did that, I went to Hawaii, and I took Purpose Crisis with me, and it was really helpful at that point in my evolution. So I highly recommend it, and now I've got a new one to read.
Good.
So I want to hear about this new exciting certification that you just received. Tell me what a human interaction technology
This is my diploma.
I love it.
Excited that I got this diploma. So this is a certification in a neurolinguistics programming based approach to learning how to influence yourself to do the things that you want to be doing and leaving behind the things that you want to leave behind in your life, things that aren't serving you. And so I just recently was certified, and I have been able to use some of these tools. And one result I heard yesterday, a young woman that I spoke with 6 weeks ago, I shared a tool with her. She wanted to quit vaping, and she quit vaping immediately. So it's a way of looking at things and ordering things in your mind so that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve.
Which sounds super simple, and I bet it's not as simple as it seems.
You know, here's the thing. The brilliance is the simplicity of how much sense it all makes. From a very scientific, linear standpoint, it makes tons of sense. And that's what I love about it, because I'm kind of a neuroscience nerd. I always have been. I'm like so interested in how the brain works and what makes people tick.
I imagine in that process, you learned a lot about yourself in addition to learning a lot of tools that you can take.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Of being able to let go of things that were no longer serving me, to create different definitions in my relationship with myself, and what I want my life to look like. And so a lot of really good, powerful, big time students sitting in the front of the row, writing notes, participating kind of work.
Yeah. I love it. So I particularly love talking to women who see a need for something and it doesn't exist, and so they create something to serve that need. And those are the women I love highlighting on this podcast. Those can be entrepreneurs, but they don't necessarily have to be creating businesses. They can be creating systems or processes or different ways of thinking about things. So tell me about the genesis of your company, your success style, and
Right.
what you were doing and what needs you saw that you felt needed to be filled.
Yes, I love it. So like the long way back, my first career was in commercial real estate. And then I ended up with that company doing their marketing and branding. After I left there, I went to Nordstrom. Just thought it would be fun. I had my son. He was a few years old, part-time at Nordstrom, and they trained me to be a personal stylist at the store. So the image background and then the marketing background, then the lifelong love of personal development brought me to a place of building a business that and here's the need that I saw along the way. And I really want to speak to what I think the most important need is, which has really been the need all along. We've just given it different names. And that is people wanting to really know themselves, right? And when you hire somebody around personal branding, it's like, you're going to help me see myself at my best, right? So where that translates is women business owners, they're not taking care of themselves. They're not eating right. They're not exercising. And I'm not saying this about everybody, but what I know is some of the most successful people are the people that need that TLC and that nurture. And that even women that are maybe just starting out a business, to develop these powerful habits at the beginning and build those into what is going to accelerate the success. And so that's where I felt there was a real need, as somebody to really stand beside women, put the stake in the ground for them, love on them to death, and then be willing to kick them in the butt too when they, like, I've kicked you in the butt before, right? And you kicked me back, which is so great, right? So that's where the need lies, because only when we really know who we are we going to really find that meaning in our lives, and it translates into every aspect.
I love that you created a business out of that you saw by interacting with so many women that was a need. And having worked with you personally, I can say that what you do is really important and really meaningful, and absolutely has an impact on every area of someone's life. I'm sure that you attract clients who think that they're working on this business piece and then discover that there's a whole other thing that
that's the hook.
Yeah, that's just the hook, which is great. So here's the big question, and I am so interested to hear your answer to this. What do you think holds women back from getting what they really want?
Their definitions of themselves.
Tell me more about that.
Right. So what holds them back is them. It's literally going, I am going to make a decision that I am going to accomplish this. And sister, you can figure it out. And if you can't, you know somebody that can help you figure it out. It's making the decision, and it's being willing to recognize that there are voices telling you that you shouldn't, or you're not good enough, or who do you think you are, or you'll never do, whatever those messages are, that those messages belong to other people who were not the best served in our life, and that we can still love them, and we can sort of put that in the box and pat it on its head, right? And then take a positive action towards the thing that we really want to accomplish. That's what holds women back. It's really not complex.
I think that's such a timely message, although there's no time that wouldn't be a valuable message. But we are in a new awakening of feminine power. And it's so exciting to be a part of it and to see it, and to see so many women putting down old messages about how they were socialized, what they were told they could be or not be, and just say, I see enough possibility out there now. There are enough women who have gone before me, who have done it harder than me, who have banged their heads on the glass ceilings for longer than me and made progress. And now it's my turn to do the thing that I want to do. And it's a super exciting thing to be a part of.
And the other thing that I want to like just layer with that is this idea around how women are being comfortable just allowing themselves to be soft again.
Yes.
And that piece of the softening piece, or the opening up of the love piece more, that is what is going to be that thing that's what's accelerating everything so quickly. And I mean, you're just a perfect example of it. What you are doing is huge, Amy. It really is. And I see it. Like, I'm so excited about it, right? And so there's like one thing that I want to say to everybody that's listening. I want you to go to that little girl place in you who believes in you still. Like, and it might just be this little fizzle, but she's there. I guarantee it. She's there. And I just want to say to that part of her, I believe in you. And I know that you can do this thing. And reach out to other women and men. Get the help that you need to do what it is that you know you're meant to do. Because you know what? I'm not saying the road's going to be easy, but you can do it. And sometimes that's just all we need is somebody to believe in us, to be that little step up to accomplishing what they want.
For sure.
And to that little piece inside of you, I love you too. Like, I love you.
That is a beautiful peek into what it's like to work with JuliAnn on a personal basis, which I have had the pleasure to do. And I have really, really enjoyed this conversation. Tell me where people can find you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, the first thing is they can get a free copy of Step Into Your Power at getyourpowerbook.com. And then that will guide them to the JuliAnn Stitick stuff. They can certainly reach out to me personally, JuliAnn at JuliAnnStitick.com. And just, come on over to the site, check out what we do. And I'm excited to be connected and be part of this group.
I love it. Thank you so much. We will have all of the links to all of your contact information in the show notes when we post the episode. So if you didn't catch what JuliAnn said, you will be able to get that out of the show notes. I really appreciate you being on the Align Women podcast with me today. Look for more episodes with more amazing women at alignwomenpodcast.com. Thanks, JuliAnn.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Align Women podcast. You can find more episodes with more amazing women at alignwomenpodcast.com and visit alignwomen.org to learn more about our leadership and networking organization. This is Amy Evans, and you've been listening to the Align Women podcast.